is that? Dude, what is that? The heck is that? Vibrate! Tem alguém aí?
Zini Explores takes a Ouija board into the forest, setting it up just outside a haunted cottage where a man took his spouse's life. Before long, his electromagnetic frequency reader starts going haywire, confirming they're in the right spot, so he and his friend set up the board. They soon begin channeling the spirit of a small boy who refers to himself only as SF. When they ask the boy about his age and other questions, he seems more interested in warning them about a hidden danger. He spells out RUN, prompting them to leave quickly without properly concluding the ceremony. As Zini Explores remembers he needs to select goodbye to avoid possession, he finds he can't move the pointer without tremendous effort. It feels as though something is holding him back. You can see the pointer barely budging despite Zini pressing down hard, but he might just be pushing straight down instead of forward, creating an illusion. I think this video could be real, but it's hard to say for sure, so share your thoughts, and let's figure it out together. A YouTuber named North by Wild West is celebrating Christmas with family when a low rumbling noise from the woods captures everyone's attention.
The tree? Oh my god. Do you see that?
They spot something darting behind the garage, prompting the entire group to rush outside for a closer look. Soon they catch sight of a large dark shape moving away in the distance.
No way.
That can't be.
What the?
After a long wait, the creature reappears along their property line, lingering for a moment before vanishing for good.
Oh my god.
Initially, I suspected this video might be fake, because there wasn't any real fear in their voices. However, I realized they simply seemed uncertain about the situation, which is understandable. After all, it could be a genuine forest creature or even someone in a gorilla suit. It might just be a neighbor playing a prank. Given these possibilities, I believe their subdued reaction is genuine. The shadow hunters from Brazil set out on a nighttime trek through the woods in search of an abandoned house said to be haunted by an angry poltergeist. After a long journey through the darkness, they finally spot the yellow walls of the house and rush toward it.
Vibrate! Tem alguém aí?
Circling the house, they stumble upon something far more unsettling than they had imagined, instantly regretting their decision to come here in the dead of night.
Tem nada aí não. Tem alguém aí? Tem vela aqui também. Nossa! Meu Deus do céu.
On the ground, they discover a strange set of candles surrounding an object hidden beneath a sheet, its shape oddly disturbing. The eerie glow of the candles casts an ominous atmosphere, giving the impression that something has gone terribly wrong. Whatever is under the sheet remains still, showing no signs of life. They cautiously step closer but don't dare to lift the sheet and uncover what lies beneath. What do you think was hidden there? If the stories about this poltergeist being a summoner are true, we probably have an idea. While it's possible this scene was staged for the video, the leader doesn't hesitate to end the recording and immediately calls the police, clearly unnerved by what they found.
A YouTuber named Sweet Dreams is lighting Roman candles to celebrate the 4th of July
when a piercing scream shatters the night.
Pierces the night air.
They follow the sound for over a minute as it grows louder and more distinct. At the end of their search, they find the source of the shriek, hunched over and isolated, just a short distance away.
What is that? Dude, what is that?
He cautiously backs away from the bent gray humanoid, but then bolts into a full sprint. The creature gives chase, and Sweet Dreams turns to see it swiping at him in the air. I can't tell if this is a real humanoid or just one of their friends in makeup, so I'll leave it for you to decide. The rest of his videos feature only him playing video games, nothing like this one. A Russian YouTuber named Phantom claims he encountered a ghost in an abandoned house filled with many terrible and mysterious legends. Perhaps this sign will reveal more about its past if someone can translate it. The only part legible is the year 1910 at the bottom. In the center of a rocky floor, he discovers unlit candles arranged in a circle. The sight gives him an unsettling feeling, and he doesn't want to linger, fearing the return of whoever placed them there. He suspects the legends are fabricated, and that the candles are meant to frighten paranormal explorers like himself. Determined, he plans to return later at night to test whether the tales of ghostly activity are mere myths. However, when he sneaks back to the house, he is shocked to find the candles now lit, and his nightmares are just beginning. In the center of the circle stands a tall, enigmatic figure clad in robes, seemingly unaware of Phantom peering in through the window, so absorbed is it in its dark meditation. Phantom, no longer concerned with capturing the ultimate paranormal evidence, bolts into the woods to save himself. The forest feels colder and more ominous as he hides behind a tree, too terrified to turn off his light, despite knowing he's being pursued. The mysterious figure approaches him instantly, gliding silently, revealing a smirking face beneath the cloak. I suspect this video isn't genuine. It appears he uses a filter to make his equipment look like it's malfunctioning, and if it were real, I can't fathom how he could have escaped unharmed. Up a long, forested mountain path near Chengdu, China, lies an abandoned house rumored to be haunted. An explorer named the Sneezing Monkey ventures to this legendary site to investigate any signs of the paranormal. Inside, there isn't much left, but he does come across an old book that captures his attention. At exactly 2 minutes and 6 seconds, the book appears to be knocked from his hands, possibly by an unseen force, or maybe he just dropped it. It's hard to tell. He seems intrigued by the contents and even shows the pages to the camera, though it's unclear what exactly they reveal. Something about them seems important to him. After a relatively quiet exploration, just as I was beginning to doubt the house's haunted reputation, something eerie happens. As he examines what looks like a fire pit, he hears a strange noise. Glancing up, he hears it again, this time coming from the attic. Sensing the danger, he doesn't hesitate and wisely decides to make a quick exit. Linfamous TV ventures into the eerie woods of Long Island for a ghost hunt, convinced that this place is truly haunted. They anticipate a chilling paranormal encounter, and what they capture on camera doesn't disappoint.
What was that?
Despite their growing fear, they push on, uncertain of the strange sounds they hear. The further they go, the more sinister the atmosphere becomes.
Over here, it looks like it's something from a horror movie.
Right. These woods right here are really spooky.
Something feels off in this part of the woods, an unsettling energy that weighs on them. But as experienced ghost hunters, they're no strangers to exploring creepy places, so they continue down the path, trusting their instincts even when they feel a sense of foreboding.
I've got a cold spot.
Completely blocking out the sky.
At the 5:58 mark, Lynn's friend is clearly visible on her right, but at the 6-minute point, When Lynn pans the camera left and up towards the trees, something terrifying happens. A ghostly figure appears on the left, staring directly at them. Lynn's friend, still on her right, is completely unaware as they try to navigate using the GPS, which starts glitching mysteriously.
Wearing
Well, on the map, what does it take us to? Does it look like it ends?
I'm sure. Like in Huntington or something. like, let's see.
Their GPS system goes haywire, leading them on a disorienting 3-hour detour before finally correcting itself. It's strange that the equipment malfunctioned at the exact moment they experienced the paranormal event. One final unsettling detail: Lynn's friend was wearing a baseball cap the entire time. The ghost they encountered was not. This small but significant difference leaves me with the uneasy feeling that this ghost sighting might just be real. A YouTuber named Johnny Paranormal ventures into the notorious Aokigahara forest. He amplifies his microphone to capture every eerie sound, and he's shocked by what he records. For instance, can you hear a demonic growl here? Or a sudden coughing sound here, even though Johnny is completely alone? He also catches a faint whisper saying help.
How's this?
These unsettling noises persist throughout the entire video, which lasts about an hour and a half. I believe that's more editing than most would bother with for a fake video, suggesting a strong chance it's genuine. What's particularly alarming is the demonic sound that trails him wherever he goes.
It's saying my battery's going flat.
If Johnny Paranormal truly was surrounded by the supernatural, I hope nothing followed him out of the forest. A YouTuber named Bloodsack12 is exploring a forest rumored to be haunted. He and his friends spend a long time without seeing anything until they stumble upon a strange discarded opera mask resting on a pile of old, filthy clothes. A short distance away, they spot another opera mask hanging from the trees. They decide to take this one home to examine it for clues. While discussing their next steps, Bloodsack12 suddenly notices something hunched over in front of them. A figure dressed entirely in black glances up from the underbrush before briefly chasing after them. I find it hard to believe this video is real due to the cinematic sound effects and perfect timing, but it's certainly possible. Let me know if you think they were truly being pursued by a maniac hiding in the woods, or if the third person was simply a friend. A YouTuber named Holababo lives deep in the Oregon forest, far from civilization. When he hears strange noises outside his house late at night, he grabs his camera and ventures into his backyard to investigate. It isn't long before he spots an object that seems out of place. At first glance, it looks like a rock, but he knows this area well enough to recognize it's foreign. He zooms in on the object.
The heck is that?
Then he murmurs something to himself, inadvertently drawing attention.
Oh my god!
A thin humanoid creature twists its impossibly long neck in his direction. If you look closely, you can see a surprised expression on its face, as if it's been caught in a secret act. I can't tell if it's feeding on an animal or perhaps burying something in the ground. He suddenly spins around and bolts away before we can determine its true intent. I suspect this video might involve special effects, but it's hard to be sure. A follow-up video filmed during the day might provide clearer evidence. While exploring the Georgia woods, Sidestep Adventures is shocked to finally stumble upon what he's been searching for: a grave hidden deep in the forest.
Oh wow. There it is.
Carefully, they begin to reassemble the broken marker and respectfully read the name inscribed Mrs. Jane.
Yep, there it is. Sacred to the memory of Mrs. Jane. And died November 3rd, 1843.
Underneath the heavy stone, they find a crushed bouquet of flowers left by a loved one. Despite the grave being over a century old, the flower petals are still vibrant and well preserved, as if time hadn't touched them. The sight of fresh flowers on a grave from 1843 is strange enough, but things get even more surreal when Sidestep Adventures realizes who this Mrs. Jane is, one of his long-lost relatives.
Stacy Duckworth and Samuel were my great-great-great-grandparents. So she was actually a half-sister to my great-great-grandfather.
Let's recap. He stumbles across a hidden grave in the middle of nowhere, finds inexplicably fresh flowers beneath the marker, and then discovers it belongs to a distant ancestor. It's hard to dismiss the feeling that this encounter was more than coincidence. It feels like fate.
Well, we did find it somehow. I tell you, if you hadn't stepped on it, we wouldn't have.
It's almost as if the spirit of his ancestor had been waiting to be discovered.